Welcome to the Ramayana, Stories of Dharm and Devotion. I'm Sandeep, your storyteller, guiding you through the eternal journey of Valmiki's Ramayana. Our narrative draws deeply from Valmiki's original text and is enriched with stories from other Indian traditions, offering you a complete and immersive experience of this eternal tale. Share this podcast with your loved ones and let the timeless lessons of the Ramayana inspire your journey. In our previous episode, the war in Lanka had already begun to tear Raavan's kingdom apart. Mighty warriors had fallen. Lakshman had faced Indrajit's terrible weapon and lay wounded. Hope seemed lost. But Hanuman flew across the skies, lifted an entire mountain, and brought life back to the battlefield. The Vanar army rose again. In today's episode, the flames rise higher. We will see King Sugreev make a bold decision to set Lanka itself ablaze. With torches in their hands, the Vanars will rush through the golden city like a storm of fire. Palaces will collapse. Towers will crumble. Raavan will stand aghast as the city he loves more than his own life burns before his eyes. Enraged, he will send Kumbha and Nikumbha, the fierce sons of Kumbhakarn. We will witness Angad crush Kampana and Prajangha. Mainda and Dvivida will strike down Yupaksha and Shonitaksha. Sugreev's thunderbolt-like fist will shatter Kumbha. And Hanuman, in terrifying fury, will tear Nikumbha down with his bare hands. But the war will not slow. Raavan will send Makaraksha, the son of Khar. Clever and cruel, he will hide behind cows and bullocks, believing Ram will not strike. We will see Ram face a deep moral test on the battlefield. He will protect the innocent cattle, invoke the wind, break the demon's trick, and finally destroy Makaraksha with divine fire. In Ashok Vatika, Trijata will bring Sita news of each battle. She will hear of Lakshman's bravery. She will weep at his suffering. She will rejoice at Hanuman's devotion. And her faith in Ram will shine brighter than ever. Above the world, the gods will watch and speak among themselves. They will praise Ram not only for his strength, but for his restraint. For even in war, he protects dharm. Join me now as Lanka burns, as demons fall one after another, and as the tide of destiny turns steadily toward Raavan's end.
The night over Lanka was no longer dark. It glowed red. King Sugreev stood on a high rock. His eyes were sharp. His voice was firm. He said, "Hanuman, the time has come. Let Lanka feel the heat of its own evil. Set the city ablaze." He raised his arm and spoke with strong purpose. Kumbhakarn is dead. His 4 sons are dead. Raavan has lost his greatest shield. He cannot defend Lanka now. His pride is broken. His army is shaken. Sugreev's voice grew louder. Let our dexterous Vanars, strong like lions, take torches in their hands. Let them rush into Lanka without fear. Let them burn the abode of Raavan. Let him feel what he has caused. Hanuman bowed deeply and said, "As you command, O king." His eyes shone like burning coals. At once, Vanars rushed forward. They dipped cloth into oil. They lit torches. They rode with wild energy. Some leapt onto rooftops. Some ran through narrow streets. Some climbed tall towers. With loud cries, they threw fire everywhere. Within moments, the city was burning. Golden domes cracked. Huge gates collapsed. Pillars fell with thunder. The whole of Lanka looked like the earth at the time of a great dissolution. It seemed as if the end of the world had come. Demons ran in panic. Mothers screamed. Warriors shouted orders. The sky turned black with smoke. Not far from the city walls, Ram and Lakshman stood ready. They had been wounded before, but now their wounds were healed. Their bodies were steady again. Their eyes were calm and bright. Ram lifted his bow. Lakshman stood beside him, alert and fierce. Without wasting a moment, Ram pulled his bowstring. His arrows flew like streaks of lightning. They struck gates. They shattered walls. They broke towers. Each arrow hit with perfect aim. Massive buildings crumbled. Lanka shook again. From his palace balcony, Raavan watched the destruction. His eyes burned with rage. His fists were clenched. He roared, "How dare they? How dare these monkeys destroy my city?" Lanka was dearer to him than his own life. Every tower, every hall, every garden had been built with his power. It was his pride. It was his glory. And now, Vanars were burning it. His face turned dark with rage. His eyes blazed. He roared, "They dare to touch Lanka. They dare to insult me in my own city." He struck the arm of his throne in fury. His pride was hurt more than his city. In fury, Raavan called for two mighty warriors, Kumbha and Nikumbha. They were the sons of Kumbhakarn. Both were tall. Both were fierce. Both carried huge weapons. Kumbha held a massive make. Nikumbha carried a shining spear. Behind them marched thousands of demons. The ground shook under their steps. Raavan ordered, "Go, crush them. Leave none alive." Soon the battlefield roared again. The demons charged forward like a dark storm. The Vanars did not step back. Hanuman roared. Angad leapt high. Jambavan shouted commands. Stones flew. Trees were uprooted. Mountains were shaken. Kumbha swung his make. Many Vanars fell. Nikumbha's spear flashed like lightning. The fight became terrible. Dust filled the air. Blood flowed on the ground. Cries of pain and anger mixed together. But the Vanars were not afraid. They moved fast. They climbed. They attacked from all sides. Sugreev gave orders with sharp clarity. Surround them. In moments, the Vanars formed circles around the demon army. They attacked from the front. They attacked from behind. They attacked from above. Demons found no escape. The sons of Kumbhakarn fought bravely. Their strength was great, but the Vanars were many, and their spirit was fierce. The battlefield roared like a wild ocean. Flames from burning Lanka lit the sky. Arrows flew. Trees crashed. War cries shook the air. Angad stood at the front. His eyes burned with courage. His body moved like a storm. Before him came Kampan, a fierce demon with a heavy sword. Kampan charged with a loud scream. Angad did not step back. He leapt high into the air. He came down with crushing force. His blow struck Kampan with terrible power. The demon fell. The earth shook. Kampan did not rise again. At that moment, Mainda and Dvivida joined Angad. Together, the three mighty Vanars faced three demons, Shonitaksha, Yupaksha and Prajangha. Soon Shonitaksha rushed forward. His eyes were red with fury. His armor shone dark in the firelight. Angad struck him hard. The demon staggered. Blood flowed. Shonitaksha was badly wounded, but he did not fall yet. The fight became fierce. Prajangha rushed toward Angad with a spear. Angad caught the spear. He snapped it in two. With a mighty strike, he crushed Prajangha's chest. Prajangha fell lifeless on the ground. Yupaksha attacked Mainda. Their blows echoed like thunder. Mainda struck with speed and strength. With one final crushing hit, he killed Yupaksha. Shonitaksha tried to gather his strength and rise again. But Dvivida leapt forward. With a fierce blow, he ended the life of Shonitaksha. Three demons lay dead. The Vanars roared in triumph. Then Kumbha entered the fight. He was tall like a mountain peak. His make swung like a moving hill. He struck with terrible force. Vanars were thrown aside. Trees shattered. Stones broke. Angad rushed to face him. The two clashed like thunderclouds colliding. Kumbha's strength was immense. With one mighty blow, he struck Angad down to the ground. The Vanars gasped. Ram saw this from a distance. His eyes grew serious. He turned to Jambavan. Ram said calmly, "Go, take the Vanar chiefs. Support Angad." Jambavan nodded. He moved forward with many strong warriors. But before they could reach, Sugreev himself stepped into the battle. The king of the Vanars faced Kumbha. Kumbha roared and raised his make. Sugreev did not fear him. With a leap, Sugreev came close. He tightened his fist. It was like a thunderbolt. He struck Kumbha hard on the chest. The blow was heavy. It cracked through armor. It shook the demon's body. Kumbh staggered. Sugreev struck again. With that crushing blow, Kumbh fell to the earth. The son of Kumbhakarn lay dead. The Vanars roared louder than ever. But the battle was not over. Nikumbh saw his brother fall. His eyes turned wild with rage. He picked up a huge iron club. He roared like a lion in pain. His voice shook the battlefield. He charged forward. Hanuman stepped ahead. Their eyes met. Nikumbh swung his club. Hanuman dodged and leapt high. With great force, Hanuman struck his fist on Nikumbh's broad chest. The sound echoed like thunder. But Nikumbh did not move. He growled and grabbed Hanuman. With powerful arms, he lifted him off the ground. Vanars cried out in fear. Nikumbh tried to crush him. But Hanuman was not weak. With sudden strength, he freed himself. He twisted in the air and struck Nikumbh hard. Nikumbh stumbled. Hanuman seized the moment. He grabbed the demon and hurled him down to the earth. The ground cracked under the impact. Hanuman descended upon him like a falling mountain. He pounded Nikumbh's chest with his fists again and again. Then, with fierce determination, Hanuman caught hold of Nikumbh's head. With one final mighty effort, he tore it off. Nikumbh's body fell silent. The battlefield froze for a moment. Then the Vanars roared in victory. Two mighty sons of Kumbhakarn were gone. Lanka burned behind them. Raavan's army grew weaker. But the night of war was not yet finished. A greater storm still waited to rise. News of Kumbh and Nikumbh's death reached Raavan. His heart burned again. His sons were falling. His generals were dying. Lanka was in flames. He called for another warrior. He thundered, "Makaraksha, go to the battlefield. Kill Ram. Kill Lakshman. Destroy the monkeys." Makaraksha stepped forward. He was the son of Khar, whom Ram had slain long ago in the forest of Dandakaranya. His eyes were fierce and wide, like those of a makra, a sea monster. His face was cruel. His body was strong. He bowed and left with a vast army of demons. As Makaraksha prepared for battle, strange signs appeared. His whip slipped from his hand. His flagstaff suddenly fell to the ground. A fierce dust storm rose and covered the sky. The drums sounded dull. The wind howled strangely. But Makaraksha ignored these signs. In his heart he thought, Kumbhakarn has fallen. Atikaya has fallen. Many great heroes are dead. They say Ram is none other than God Vishnu himself. He paused for a moment and said to himself, if that is true, then dying at his hands will give me heaven. Yet his mind was also clever. He thought, Ram will not attack cows. He protects dharm. I also heard that he is a worshipper of God Shiv. God Shiv rides Nandi, a bullock. I will shield myself with cattle. He ordered a strange chariot. It was driven by cows and bullocks. It was covered with leather made from cowhide. Musical instruments played loudly as he climbed upon it, armed with bow, spear, and make. Ignoring the omens, he marched toward Ram and Lakshman. Makaraksha's army advanced like a dark wave. He shot arrows fiercely. Many Vanars were wounded. Some fell. The monkeys saw the cows and bullocks pulling the chariot. They hesitated. Hanuman stood before him. For a moment, even Hanuman was in doubt. He thought, if I strike the cows and bullocks will die. It will be a great dishonor to kill cows and bullocks. I can't do it. Seeing Hanuman in dilemma, the Vanars grew afraid. They stepped back. They cried, call Ram. Only Ram can handle this. Ram came forward calmly. He saw the cows. He saw the leather shield. He paused for a moment. Before he could act, Makaraksha fired sharp arrows. One arrow pierced Ram. Lakshman grew tense. Ram steadied himself. Then he invoked the weapon of the wind. A mighty gust rose from his bow. The wind howled across the battlefield. The cows and bullocks were blown away safely. The leather coverings flew into the sky. The trick was broken. Now the Vanars attacked freely. They hurled rocks and trees. But Makaraksha, cut them down with his arrows. Neela rushed forward and was wounded. Sugreev attacked and was struck back. The demon was powerful. Ram stepped ahead. He said firmly, "I will soon kill you." He released a divine weapon. Makaraksha cut it apart. The demon shot another arrow. It pierced Ram again. Ram felt the pain. He thought within himself, "I killed his father Khar with a few arrows. But this Rakshas is stronger." With sharp aim, Ram cut off Makaraksha's bow. The demon quickly seized another bow and resumed fighting. Again Ram cut that bow. Enraged, Makaraksha picked up a spiked make. He charged forward. Ram cut the make in midair. The demon hurled his shield. Ram shattered it with 4 arrows. The monkeys and demons clashed again all around. Arrows flew like rain. Makaraksha challenged Ram openly. They broke each other's arrows in the sky. Finally Ram smashed the chariot. The vehicle lay broken. Makaraksha stood on the ground. He lifted a shining spike and hurled it at Ram. Ram cut it into pieces with 4 swift arrows. Furious, Makaraksha rushed forward with bare fists. Ram took a crescent-shaped arrow. He released it. The arrow cut off both the demon's hands. Still the demon roared and staggered forward. Then Ram invoked the fire weapon. Flames shone bright at its tip. He released it. The fiery missile struck Makaraksha. The demon fell to the ground, burning. Thus the son of Khar died. The remaining demons trembled in fear. They turned and fled back toward Lanka. The battlefield grew silent for a moment. Ram stood firm. The war was not yet over. But another mighty enemy had fallen. Far away from the battlefield, in the quiet grove of Ashok trees, Sita sat under a tree. Her face was calm, but her heart was heavy. Suddenly, Trijata came running. Trijata was kind. She did not mock Sita like the other demoness. She bowed gently. She said softly, "Sita, I bring news." Sita looked up with hope in her eyes. She asked, "What has happened?" Trijata began carefully and said, "Indrajit, the son of Raavan, used terrible weapons in battle. He struck Lakshman with a powerful divine missile. Lakshman fell to the ground, wounded and still." Sita gasped. Her face turned pale. She whispered, "My Lakshman, he left his home for us. He served Ram with full devotion. He has suffered only because of me." Tears flowed down her cheeks. Trijata continued gently, "But listen, Sita. Lakshman faced that weapon bravely. He did not step back. He fought like a lion. Even when wounded, his face showed no fear." Sita folded her hands. She prayed, "May he be safe." Then Trijata's voice grew excited. When Lakshman lay unconscious, Jambavan said only a rare herb from the northern mountains could save him. It had to be brought before dawn. Sita looked up with hope and fear. She asked, "What happened?" "It is difficult to get the medicine in so few hours." Trijata said, "Hanuman flew to the mountains, but he could not identify the exact herb. So he did not waste time." A faint smile appeared on her face when she said, "He lifted the entire mountain." Sita's eyes widened and she asked, "The whole mountain?" Trijata replied, "Yes, Sita. He carried it through the sky like a small rock. The world saw him flying. The Vanars cheered. The demons trembled. Tears of gratitude filled Sita's eyes. She whispered, "Hanuman, blessed is that noble soul." Trijata nodded and continued, "The herb was found. Lakshman was healed. He rose again. The army regained its strength." Sita bowed her head and said to herself, "I am deeply sorry that Lakshman had to suffer. He has done no wrong. All this pain has come because Raavan carried me away." Trijata spoke firmly, "Do not blame yourself, Sita. The sin is Raavan's. The glory will be Ram's." Sita closed her eyes and said, "My Ram protects dharm. Lakshman stands for loyalty. Hanuman stands for devotion. Such strength cannot fail." Her faith grew even stronger. Then Trijata said, "And today it was even more eventful." Sita looked at her in surprise and asked, "What happened today?" Tell me in detail. Trijata spoke with wonder. The Vanars are fighting bravely. Kumbha and Nikumbha are dead. Now Makaraksha, the son of Khar, came to battle. Sita's breath grew quick. Trijata continued. He tried a trick. He rode on a chariot drawn by cows and bullocks. He covered it with cowhide. He thought Ram would not attack. Sita closed her eyes. She quietly asked, "And what did Ram do?" Trijata smiled faintly and said, "Ram did not harm the cattle. He invoked the wind weapon. The cows were blown away safely. The leather flew off. Then he fought the demon openly and killed him." Tears filled Sita's eyes. She said softly, "My Ram, he protects dharm even in war." Her faith grew stronger, and she said with quiet certainty, "He will come and he will defeat Raavan. He will rescue me." Trijata nodded. "Sita, today even the Rakshis whisper that Ram is no ordinary man." Sita looked toward the distant sky. She said gently, "I know who he is." High above the earth, the gods watched the battle. The sky was filled with divine beings. Indra spoke first. He said, "See Lakshman, how bravely he faced Indrajit's weapon." Another god replied, "He did not tremble. He fought for his brother and for dharm." Indra said with admiration, "And Hanuman, who else could lift an entire mountain without pride?" God Brahma smiled and nodded. Such devotion moves even the heavens. Then they spoke of Ram again. Indra said, "See how Ram fights. Even in anger, he does not forget dharm." God Brahma nodded and said, "Makaraksha tried to hide behind cows. Ram could have destroyed everything, yet he chose wisely." Another god said, "He invoked the wind. He removed the shield without harming the innocent." They all praised him. One said, "Such restraint in battle is rare." Another said, "He is truly Vishnu in human form. He destroys evil, yet he protects the pure." Flowers fell from the heavens. The sages smiled and conquered. He shows the world that strength without dharm is destruction, but strength guided by dharm is divine.
In this episode, we saw Lanka burn. We saw King Sugreev take a bold step and command that the golden city be set ablaze. We watched the Vanars, swift and fearless, carry fire through the streets of Raavan's pride. Towers fell, gates shattered. The city that once glittered like the sun trembled under flames. We saw Raavan stand aghast, wounded not only in power, but in heart. Lanka was dearer to him than life itself. Yet even as it burned, he chose rage over reflection. We witnessed fierce battles unfold one after another. Angad crushed Kampana and struck down Prajangha. Mainda and Dvivida ended Yupaksha and Shonitaksha. Sugreev's thunderbolt-like fist brought Kumbha to the earth. And Hanuman, in unstoppable fury, tore Nikumbha down with his bare hands. Then came Makaraksha, son of Khar, cunning and cruel. He tried to hide behind cows and bullocks, believing Ram would hesitate. And Ram did hesitate, not from fear, but from dharm. He chose not to harm the innocent. He invoked the wind, cleared the path without sin, and then, with fire and resolve, ended the demon's life. In Ashok Vatika, Trijata brought Sita every word of the battle. She wept to hear about Lakshman's wounds. She folded her hands in gratitude for Hanuman's devotion. And her faith in Ram grew brighter with each passing moment. Above the earth, the gods spoke among themselves. They praised Ram not only for victory, but for restraint. For even in the heat of war, he protected the helpless and upheld righteousness. But the war is not yet finished. Raavan still stands. His pride is wounded. His army is shaken. Yet his will has not broken. In the next episode, new shadows will step onto the battlefield. Tarni will rise. And Indrajit, master of illusion and deadly weapons, will once again enter the war. The clash will grow sharper. The stakes will grow higher. And destiny will move one step closer to its final reckoning. Join me in the next episode as fury, illusion, and fate meet once more on the burning fields of Lanka. Share this podcast with your loved ones and let the timeless lessons of the Ramayana inspire your journey. Though the details of this ancient tale may vary across traditions, its essence reminds us of the enduring power of compassion, courage, and hope in the face of adversity. Until next time, may the light of dharm illuminate your path and fill your heart with peace.